Hi, boys and girls. Coach Hyatt here. We are going to read the last couple chapters of Coach Hyatt is a Riot about me and AJ and Andrea and all AJ's friends on the football team, the Moose. So we are going to find out what happens between the Moose and the Sharks. Will they win? The Moose, I mean. Or will the Sharks win? Because they're bigger, meaner, tougher. Will AJ become a wide receiver instead of being quarterback? And then, if they do win, what is AJ going to do about Andrea being the secret weapon? And how is he going to feel about me, Coach Hyatt, even though I'm a lady? Before we get into the story, though, I want to show you a little bit about Dan Guttman and Jim Pilote, who are the author and illustrator of the My Weird School series, and they also work on a lot of really cool other book series that you may be interested in. So, let's go. All right, so here is Dan Guttman. And yes, he looks like a weirdo. He's got a book on his head. What is wrong with that man? This is his website. It's called danguttman.com. So you can search for any author with your adult's permission and find out more about them. This is the homepage. So it gives you a picture of Dan, gives you an idea of all the different books he's written. So here we have My Weird School, which is realistic fiction. Remember, that means it seems real, but it's fake. Everything's pretty much made up. And in realistic fiction, nothing crazy happens, like there's no Harry Potter magic, and there's no science fiction like Iron Man or the Hulk. So it's like everyday life. Just his books are funny. Now, he also has some books like this one that are historical fiction. And that means it's set in the time of history, and sometimes it can have famous people, like in this book, Jackie Robinson is in this book. So he was a real person in history, first African-American to play on a Major League Baseball team, and this kid gets to meet Jackie Robinson in the book. So of course, we know that Jackie Robinson was real, so this is historic, but then this kid never existed. That makes it fiction. You'll notice also, Dan Guttman writes a book called The Genius Files, which really looks like science fiction, meaning these kids are geniuses and they use science to change things. And it's science that's way beyond our science of nowadays. Now there's My Weird School, which is awesome. And this is something I wanted to share with you. Dan Guttman's doing read-alouds every day at 2 p.m. So you can go and listen to those. Let's get back to that if I can. You know, I'm just a coach. Not always the brightest one of the bunch. Come on, Mr. Guttman. All right. So there's Genius Files again. My Weird School again. Let's see if it'll let me get back to Mr. Guttman's read aloud. So you click here for read aloud details. And if you go down, it gives you a schedule. I honestly am not sure when week 1 started, but you can click on here and you can go ahead to the readings. So a lot of them are My Weird School. So Miss Blake is a fake is My Weird School. Dr. Floss is a boss as well. Miss Porter is out of order. Dr. Snow has got to go. Those are all My Weird School books that Dan Guttman will read aloud to you. And then Rappy the Raptor is a picture book about a dinosaur. Bonnie Double, We're in Trouble. And then Miss Hall is a goofball. So those are some cool things you can do on your days where you're at home on a device. Miss Bell, your librarian, will put those in Schoology as well, so you can go there and find those links. You can also find out about Dan Guttman. He tells his story here. And of course, this is a biography. Tells about his life. Tells when he's born in October 1955. He kind of had a tough childhood. His dad left the family when Dan was 13. So the dad left Dan's mom, Dan's sister, and Dan. So that was a tough time in Dan's life. So some of you may be able to relate to that. Coach Hyatt's parents got divorced when she was about 13. So things changed for me too. Now, it tells you more about Dan here, about him going to college, him going to become a writer, different things like that. So you can learn a lot from people, and he looks like a pretty crazy guy. Maybe that's why his books are so funny. He seems like a funny guy. All right, so you can go to Weird Read-Alouds, Dan's books. Let's look at that really quick. Gives you all the weird school books, any other books you might be interested in. He even does some nonfiction picture books, sports, middle grade fiction, which is like 4th and 5th grade and 6th grade favorites of his. And then he has book trailers and videos. That's really cool. You guys love that type of stuff. So he does certain videos, and that looks like a cool one on race cars. He maybe does some commercials, and here he is. He's doing a book trailer for the Genius Files. So I will put a link to that with Miss Bell on School of G as well. Now, let's check out Jim Pelote. He is the illustrator of the My Weird School books. Looks like a pretty cool dude too. There he is at the beach with his doggy. And it tells you a little bit about him. He is somebody who lives in Arizona. Man, I don't know where he found the ocean then. And he tells you a little bit about himself. He seems pretty funny. Right here it says, yes, he likes ant farms, robots with death rays, superheroes, and riders in the sky. But he does not like angry mobs, two-headed animals, peas, and no tank tops at weddings. So it tells you a little bit about him. If you want to check out his stuff, you can go to news. Tells you a little bit about some of the things he illustrates, some funny things, and he does more of the My Weird School series. And then you can go to Kids 1. There's a cool robot, probably has a death ray, but right there it has toilet paper. But you can look at all the different things he illustrates, like beaver tail flappers. And then this is a series he does about Abraham Lincoln. Here's another series. He does some pretty cool, bright illustrations, doesn't he? So if any of you out there like to illustrate, man, you could have a really cool job one day. Then if you go to Kids 2, he has more examples. There's the Honest Abe Funny Money book, and you can look at the other ones here as well. Now, if you're interested in comics, he has books, he has comics, and of course it tells you more about the My Weird School books. And then he's got some other books that he also illustrates for. And this is from Grubtown series. And Secrets of a Lab Rat. And I think more Grubtown series. So, let's look at comics now. Again, he does Honest Abe Lincoln. So he does lots of illustrations for that. He also does this one, Snacky Jack. Looks like it's about a Hostess cupcake. I don't know what this little guy's supposed to be, but whatever. So those look pretty funny. More Honest Abe. And then this one, cute or creepy? More of the Snacky Jack. And then First Day of School. And then also, here we go, one that's about a Dr. Seuss graphic novel. So cool, huh? You can find out a lot about the people who create these wonderful books. Now, we're gonna go ahead and head into chapter 12 of the My Weird School. Coach Hyatt is a riot. Let's find out what happens with AJ.
Chapter 12, The Secret Play. We all ran to the sideline and huddled around Coach Hyatt.
Take a knee, kids,
she said. Where should we take it? I asked.
Quiet,
barked Coach Hyatt. Then she started whispering. Okay, this is it. It's time.
Time for what?
Ryan asked.
It's time for the secret play,
Coach Hyatt told us. Oh no, said Neil the nude kid. Not the secret play. Last time we tried the secret play, we fell all over ourselves. Yeah, I said. I almost broke my leg.
It's going to be different this time, the coach told us. Now we've got Andrea. You ragamuffins can do this. Just like you picked up my car. Do it for the chipper.
Who's the chipper again? I asked.
My hamster,
Coach Hyatt barked. Oh, yeah. The ball was on our 20-yard line. We had to drive 80 yards in 11 seconds. It looked impossible. We got into position. Hut 1, Andrea shouted. Hut 2, hike. Wyatt hiked the ball to Andrea. Andrea flipped it to Ryan. Ryan passed it to me at the 30-yard line. I shoveled it over to Michael. Michael ran to the 50-yard line and lateral rolled it to Neil. Neil ran all the way to the 10-yard line and handed it off to Wyatt. Wyatt ran almost to the goal line, and then he suddenly stopped. Run! Wyatt, run! We all screamed. There was no time left on the clock. Wyatt was just standing there at the 1-yard line. If he didn't score, the game would be over and we would lose. Run! We all screamed. A shark was about to tackle Wyatt. That's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. Wyatt picked his nose? Well, that's not the weirdest part, because Wyatt picks his nose all the time. The weird part was that Wyatt picked his nose, and then he stuck the booger right on the shark's face. Ew, disgusting. The shark shoved Wyatt away from him. Wyatt fell on his butt and landed in the end zone. Touchdown! 78-77? The Moose win! Everybody went crazy. You should have been there. Our whole team ran to do the end zone dance. We shook our butts, lifted one of our legs up over our heads, hopped up and down for a little while, and then put our hands in the air and waved them around like crazy people. Nana nana boo boo on the Sharks. We ran to the sideline and all the parents were there, taking pictures of us. It was a real Kodak moment. You made a home run, my mom yelled. I slapped my forehead. Everybody was going nuts and hugging each other. Andrea came over to me. She opened her arms. Give me a hug, Arlo, Andrea said. Not gonna happen. I want a hug, Arlo, Andrea said. Not for $1,100,000. Come on, Arlo, Andrea said. I would rather eat a live bug sandwich. We went back and forth like that for a while. Arlo, I'm on your team, Andrea said. Huh. Well, Andrea had a point. After a big win like this, you should hug your teammates. Andrea was on our team, and she won the game for us. But she was a girl. If I hugged Andrea, the guys were sure to make fun of me. I was faced with the hardest decision of my life. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. I was concentrating so hard that my brain hurt. Suddenly, Andrea reached out to grab me. I faked left. Then I faked right. Then I faked left again. But Andrea didn't fall for my fakes. She wrapped her arms around me and hugged me. Ugh, disgusting. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ and Andrea are hugging. They must be in love. When are you guys going to get married? Asked Michael. Coach Hyatt told everybody to line up. At the end of each game, we had to line up, shake hands with the other team, and say, good game. Nobody knows why. I shook hands with all the Sharks. When I got to the last one, he grabbed my hand and started squeezing. Good game, he told me as he crushed the bones in my hand. If it weren't for that girl, we would have destroyed you. I thought I was gonna die. Chapter 13, UFM? On TV, the winning football team dumps Gatorade over the head coach's head at the end of the game. Hey, I whispered to the guys, let's dump the Gatorade over Coach Hyatt's head. Yeah, great idea, AJ, Ryan said. I should get the Nobel Prize. That's a prize they give out to people who don't have belts. Coach Hyatt was facing away from us, talking to some parent. Neil unscrewed the top of the jug of Gatorade. Me and Michael and Ryan grabbed the jug. Wyatt just picked his nose. Man, this jug is heavy, Michael said, grunting. Hey, we picked up a car, didn't we? Ryan said. We lifted the giant jug and carried it over to Coach Hyatt. The parent she had been talking to was walking away. Coach Hyatt was about to blow her whistle. That's when we dumped the entire jug of Gatorade over her head. It was great. Gatorade was everywhere. Coach Hyatt was soaked. That's when the strangest thing in the history of the world happened. Coach Hyatt grabbed her throat. It looked like she was trying to say something, but she couldn't. All that came out of her mouth was a whistling noise. She's choking, Ryan yelled. Her whistle is caught in her throat. Coach Hyatt was gagging and looking really scared. She can't breathe, Neil yelled. We've got to do something, shouted Emily. This is all your fault, Arlo, Andrea said. It was your idea to dump the Gatorade on her head. I looked at Ryan. Ryan looked at Neil. Neil looked at Andrea. Andrea looked at Emily. Everybody was looking at everybody else. Does anybody know the Heimlich maneuver? One of the parents shouted. The Heimlich maneuver is this thing you do when somebody has something caught in their throat. AJ does, Ryan yelled. Yeah, that's right, shouted Andrea. He saved my life once. It was true. One time, Andrea was choking on an apple, and I punched her in the stomach to make the apple pop out. I grabbed Coach Hyatt from behind and punched both of my fists against her stomach. The whistle shot out of her mouth. You saved my life, AJ, said Coach Hyatt. The whistle kept flying up in the air, and you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years what it hit. Rufus the doofus! That whistle must have had a sharp edge because it tore a hole right in Rufus. Rufus started flying crazily all around in the air. Rufus faked left. Rufus faked right. Then Rufus must have had run out of air because he was falling out of the sky. Run for your lives, shouted Neil. It's an unidentified flying moose. Everybody freaked out and went running in all different directions and crashing into each other. Rufus was heading straight for the group of cheerleaders, and then, wham! Rufus landed right on Emily. Emily was on the ground under Rufus, freaking out like always. It was hilarious. We saw it live and in person. Ow, my leg! Emily yelled. We all gathered around and picked Rufus up off Emily. It was easy because we had already picked up a Mini Cooper and a jug of Gatorade. Are you okay, Emily? Asked Andrea. No, I'm not okay, Emily yelled with tears in her eyes. Sheesh, what a crybaby. So a moose fell out of the sky and landed on her head. What's the big deal? Stuff like that happens all the time. Walk it off, Coach Hyatt told Emily. I think it might be broken, Emily whined. Broken? Coach Hyatt said. If a moose fell on me when I was your age, I would get up and build a log cabin with my bare hands. Well, that's pretty much the way it happened. With Andrea on our team, maybe we'll actually win a few games this season. Maybe Emily's leg will heal. Maybe Wyatt, the nose picker, will run out of boogers. Maybe we'll get to ram the Elvis dummy some more. Maybe another moose will fall on Emily's head. Maybe Coach Hyatt will stop building log cabins and get a new hamster. Maybe we'll find out what ragamuffin means. Maybe Rent-a-Blimp will be able to patch the hole and Rufus a doofus. But it won't be easy. All about the author and illustrator. Dan Guttman has written many weird books for kids. He lives in New Jersey, a very weird place, with his weird wife and 2 weird children. You can visit him on his weird website, www.dangutman.com. Jim Pelote lives in Arizona. another weird place with his weird wife and 2 weird children. Isn't that weird? You can visit him on his weird website at www.jimpalote.com. Visit www.authortracker.com for exclusive information on your favorite HarperCollins authors. One goose and another goose are geese, but one moose and another moose aren't meese. Nobody knows why. It's called a quarterback because in ancient times, football cost 75 cents. When primitive people used $1 to buy one, they got a quarter back. Ha! Clog dancing is a dance that plumbers do to make water go down the drain. Quarterbacks always say hut before the ball's hiked. That's because in ancient times, the first primitive football players lived in huts. Grown-ups get mad when you say but. Nobody knows why. And UFM means unidentified flying moose. Maybe you'll see one day. The end. Na-na-na-na boo-boo, I gotta go.
Well, there you go. Now, you know what happens in the end of Coach Hyatt is a riot. And, of course, things turned out well. Everybody was working as a team. Everybody was helping out. And I think AJ learned some lessons. So, in a little while, you'll be able to go to Schoology and you can give your opinion about what AJ learned and give your opinion of what you think about women being able to do more than people think. Have you ever had a female coach? Have you ever had a woman do a job for you that you never thought they would be able to do? Maybe you should research some famous women. Last month was Women's History Month, so that would be a good idea. At this point right now, though, AJ had one amazing question, and that was, what does the word ragamuffin mean? And we're going to find out in just a second what ragamuffin means. Coach Hyatt is going to take you to look and see the meaning of that word in a dictionary. So, hold your horses or your moose, and I'll be right back with that. Okay, Coach Hyatt promised she would look up ragamuffin for you. I know what it means, but AJ didn't know what it meant. So, right here on Google, you just put in the word, and it gives us the meaning. Let's hear what it sounds like. So, ragamuffin, it's just a person or a child in kind of ragged, dirty clothes. Now, my football kids, they get dirty. Their clothes get ragged. That's why I call them ragamuffins. I wouldn't call you that, because you're not out there sweating and getting dirty and getting grass stains and playing football and getting knocked down on your butt. So, that's just for my football kids. I like saying ragamuffin too. It's kind of fun to say. So, why don't you call your little brother or sister that? Especially when they get dirty. Okay? Alright, so there's the definition. Now AJ knows, now you know what ragamuffin means. Alright, so I hope you liked Dan Guttman's story, Coach Hyatt is a Riot. And I've shown you where to find his website. I've shown you where to find Jim Pelote's website. And remember, you can go to the Seaford Public Library website or the Laurel Public Library or Blades Public Library if they have one. I don't know, I'm a coach. Anyway, and you can read ebooks for free, like I showed you in my last YouTube video for Coach Hyatt is a Riot. So, go ahead out there, get some books to read, and I am going to continue building my log cabin. I hope you like it. Come help me sometime. Why not? I got to get these guys in gear, and we got to get finished with this project. I wasn't joking when I said I built log cabins. All right. Have a great day. Drop down and give me 20. Run around, backwards, sideways, forwards, about 100 million times. And then you will be in shape for the next season of football. Okay, everybody. Coach Hyatt signing out. Have fun. And maybe I'll see you some other time.